Chisora, Boy, he's been speaking lately, man, ever since he's been announced as the new IBF mandatory challenger to Daniel the Dynamite Dubois, Chisora. He's after that fight. He wants it, man. He really believes he can go out there and take on the young lion, Daniel Dubois, and take him out and become, one of the oldest heavyweight champions of all time. Boy really believes that. And you know what? Listen, it's heavyweight boxing. It can happen. Do you know what I mean? I'll be a fool to sit here and say that, nah, it can't happen. Nah, it can. It can definitely happen because, listen, Boy, say what you want about him. He comes to fight. Do you know what I mean? He comes to fight. He can swing. And you know what? If he catches Daniel at the right time, listen, it could be night-night, man. I therefore wouldn't put it past Boy. So I'm never going to doubt that guy, man. Trust me, he's a solid guy, Boy. But they've been asking him. He's been on the radio. They asked him, about the Usyk versus Daniel Dubois fight. Do you know what I mean? What he thinks could happen in that fight, etc. Boy went on to say that Usyk and Daniel Dubois will not be able to sell out the Tottenham Stadium or Wembley. Wow. That's a bold statement. You know that. That's a bold statement. And he said that him, Chisora, Boy, him and Dubois sells at Wembley. Wow. Again, bold statement. But you know what? I actually had to think about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I actually had to think about it, had to reflect on it, done some research, etc. And you know what? He might have a point here. He might have a point. Alexander Usyk, yeah, great fighter. One of the best of all time. Like I always say, like he's up there. He's up there with the best of them. Do you know what I mean? Pound for pound, wherever you want to put him. If you put him number one, I wouldn't hold a grudge against you. Alexander Usyk is that good. But does his skills in the ring transfer to selling pay-per-views and filling up stadium in the diaspora? What I mean is outside of his homeland. Do you know what I mean? Outside of Ukraine. Obviously, Ukraine going through a war, so he hasn't been fighting there. He fought last time in Poland. But outside of Poland, Ukraine, can he fill up stadiums? No, I don't think so. Even in terms of pay-per-view, yeah, Usyk, his biggest pay-per-views are with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Do you know what I mean? Before that, he does very poor pay-per-view numbers, man. Alexander Usyk. You can challenge me on that. Go do your research. His biggest numbers are with the British guys, man. He did really well with Tony Bellew. Again, Tony Bellew, massive name in the UK. So the pay-per-views did really well because that fight was in the UK. Do you know what I mean? Against AJ, against Fury, did really well. Against Dubois, I'm not too sure on the numbers, but I don't think it was great. Do you know what I mean? So Alexander Usyk, as great as he is inside the ring, outside the ring, like he needs a big name, a big British name for him to sell out stadiums, for him to sell out pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? He's just, his skills in the ring are just not transferable to, in terms of the marketing and pay-per-view buying power. He's not that guy. He just hasn't got that. Do you know what I mean? And then we look at Daniel Dubois. He also really hasn't got that. Do you know what I mean? Daniel Dubois' highest pay-per-view sales was against Anthony Joshua. You know what I mean? They did 800K domestically in the UK. Probably outside, they probably done like 20K in the US or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So that's not even one of AJ's greatest numbers. Because AJ's up there, in terms of the numbers, the pay-per-view buys. AJ's got Parker at 1.8, 3 million. He's got the Klitschko fights. They're all up there. Do you know what I mean? AJ, you know what I mean? AJ sells. AJ is a superstar when it comes to pay-per-view buys in the UK and worldwide. Do you know what I mean? Like he's way ahead of these heavyweights right now. Daniel Dubois doesn't sell. Again, Daniel Dubois needs a big name to sell. So when you got Daniel Dubois who doesn't sell, you got Alexander Usyk, who's not really a great seller. I'm kind of here with Boy. I kind of agree with Boy that these guys, yeah, as much as the fight is going to be for undisputed and it's historic and etc., but in terms of if you look at the the numbers, do you know what I mean? Like the pay-per-view buys and the gate receipt, I don't think it's going to be all that, man. Do you know what I mean? They might do like 75,000 at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? Do you really need Wembley to be like 90,000 at capacity? I don't think so. Like 75,000 and you patch it up a bit, do you know what I mean? You put a few flags around the stadium, it will look full, do you know what I mean? It will look like it's packed, do you know what I mean? But it won't be at capacity. It won't be like 86,000 like AJ Dubois, it won't be that. Do you know what I mean? So that's why when I'm looking, I think about Del Boy, I'm like, yo, people in the UK, like, listen, let me just tell you, I live in the UK. People in the UK love Derek Chisora, man. These guys they love the warrior in him. They love that can-do attitude. Do you know what I mean? They love that he doesn't duck anyone. He goes in there, he's ready to fight anyone, ready to put his body on the line. He doesn't duck. People love Derek Chisora. And I truly believe, yeah, a fight between Derek Chisora and Daniel Dubois, that's gonna do crazy numbers. Like in terms of pay-per-views, and he's gonna sell at Wembley. I'm actually in agreement with Del Boy here because two British fighters is a domestic, domestic punch-up, whatever you wanna call it. Like, I believe Del Boy. Like, I really think these two can sell at Wembley and the pay-per-view buys are gonna be mad. Because Del Boy is gonna bring a lot of the crowd, man. Del Boy, for me, this is just that. And I've been looking at the numbers and I actually think Del Boy is a bigger star in the UK than Daniel Dubois. I think so. Del Boy is way more popular than Daniel Dubois in the UK. Daniel Dubois' popularity right now in the UK has taken a big nosedive. Like, his popularity just dropped off the sky, mate. All because of the Parker incident. What happened on the 22nd of February when Dubois pulled out the fight due to illness, whatever he had, and he disappeared. He went MIA for like a month or something. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people were looking for him. They wanted answers. He wasn't giving it. By the time he came out and gave answers, too late. Do you know what I mean? The damage already been done. It's done. The damage was done. Reputation tarnished. Now he has to kind of rebuild and gain the trust of the fans again. Do you know what I mean? He's only one win away from that. Do you know what I mean? Don't get it twisted. Boxing fans, if you win fights, do you know what I mean? Spectacularly, if you go out there and knock someone out, especially with the heavyweight, the fans will love you again. Do you know what I mean? Daniel Dubois has work to do, but it's not that much. Like, he's not beyond the realms of possibility that fans will, turn back and start loving him again. But at the moment, his popularity is like down the sewer, mate. But Del Boy, after his win against Otto Wallen, after his win against Joe Joyce, mate, he's loved right now and he'll bring a massive crowd from every corners of the UK, man. Do you know what I mean? So Daniel Dubois versus Derek Chisora, Del Boy, outsells Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Usyk versus Daniel Dubois is a historic fight. It's for undisputed. Do you know what I mean? That's for history. That's for the history books. Do you know what I mean? But if you just look at numbers, how both fights will do, Usyk, Dubois, in terms of numbers, I don't think it does great. I think they'll probably fight at the O2, man. I'm not going to lie. Or they fight in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia. Because there, it's not really about selling out stadiums. They've got a little arena there. And yeah, you can just get the fight out there and do whatever you need to do. But in the UK, the fight to make, that will bring in the crowds, the pubs will be filled and drinks everywhere. Everyone going crazy. Come on. Del Boy versus Daniel Dubois. So, I'm in agreement. Listen, Enzo, he's in agreement with Del Boy. Del Boy is absolutely right. He makes a valid point. But listen, let me know in the comments, man. What do you think? Do you think Del Boy is right to say what he just said? That Dubois versus Chisora sells at Wembley, massive pay-per-view buys, is a more better marketed, better package, stronger package than Usyk versus Dubois. Let me know in the comments, man. Like I said, I agree with Del Boy because I believe Del Boy is more popular than both Usyk and Dubois, even though those two are more talented. But Del Boy, in terms of popularity and bringing in a crowd, I think Del Boy outshines both Usyk and Dubois. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you agree, man. I really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. I'm your boy Enzo. Please don't forget to go ahead and smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because that's the only way you're going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.